Tao Te Ching, a Playfully Sincere Rendition, by Lao Tzu, reworded by Stacy and Jeff Mallinson. 1. The Tao proclaimed as dogma is not the Tao. Words cannot contain the infinite word. An inexpressible reality is the source of the heavens and the earth. The cosmos we label gives birth to the 10,000 things. Now, if you release resentment and longing, you can breathe deep, resting in the sublime. Meanwhile, through desire, the material world arises and begins to dance. Though the sublime and the dance have different names, they share a common source. Grasping this mystery of mysteries clears the way toward profound insight. 2. Once we perceive beauty in the world, we also discern ugliness. After we gain knowledge of goodness, we also recognize evil. Existence and the void give birth to each other. Difficult and easy determine each other. Long and short measure each other. High and low position each other. Tone and silence make melodies together. Before and after march in the same parade. So a sage manages life without dominating and teaches through living rather than preaching. They let the living things sprout without judging them, then let them flourish without trying to own them. A sage creates art without making it their identity. When their art is complete, they let it be. That's why it endures. 3. Idolize celebrity and success, and others will bicker with envy. Overvalue possessions, and people will turn into thieves. Flaunt what you have, and folks' hearts will become restless. A sage leads by helping folks let go of longing and fulfill living needs. Let go of striving and enjoy good health. A sage emancipates from mental slavery while restraining the crafty and their manipulations. Surf the Tao, and nothing will be unmanageable. 4. The Tao seems like an empty pitcher, but when you pour it out, it never ceases to flow. It's fathomless. It's a wellspring of all that exists. It smooths jagged edges. It untangles knots. It diffuses blistering sun rays. It becomes one with the dust. Ah, how sublime. It seems eternal. I don't know who begat it. It seems older than the gods. 6. The spirit of the valley is deathless. She is called the mysterious mother. The womb of the mysterious mother is called the source of heaven and earth. It flows endlessly, almost imperceptibly. Tap into this. It never runs dry. 8. To discover the greatest good, flow like water. Water pours life into all creatures without striving. It pools in places most disdain. This is how it's like the Tao. So make your home in low places. Draw from the deep well of the heart. Offer kindness to others. Let your words be sincere. Lead with integrity. Let your work be your art. Remain present with everyone you encounter. Live without striving, and folks won't try to pull you down. 10. Can you embrace both your spirit and body and grasp the unity of all things? Can you soften your breath and become like a sleeping baby? Can you rinse from your eyes what's clouding your vision? Can you compassionately guide others instead of trying to control them? Can you open and close the door to heaven like a woman giving birth? Can you bring light to others instead of trying to force them to become enlightened? Give birth, suckle, and rear offspring, but don't try to own them. Do something astounding, but don't brag about it. Cultivate without crushing. Mastering this is profound. 11. 30 spokes meet at a hub. The empty space at the center is what lets the wheel go round. Spin away, shape your clay, craft your cup. The empty space of the cup is what allows it to get filled up. Chisel windows and doors out of the walls to make a house. The empty space between the walls creates room for living. Therefore, what exists can be shaped to our advantage, but it's the empty space that makes something useful. 14. Look, but you can't see it. It's vague. Listen, but you can't hear it. It's silent. Reach, but you can't grasp it. It's intangible. Yet these three longings to perceive lead back to unity. There's no heaven more wondrous than this. There's no shadowy world darker than this. It's everlasting and nameless. Wave upon wave, threads of energy spool out from it. Then everything drifts back into the void. It is the shape of the shapeless, the portrait of the invisible. It's incomprehensible. Greet it and you'll see it has no face. Chase after it and you'll find it has no backside. Master the ancient art of being present. Recognize the timeless source of all existence. Follow this ancient thread, and you'll discover the secret to surfing the Tao. 15. The ancient Tao surfers were keen, deep, and inexpressibly artful. There is no way to fathom their wisdom. All we can really do is describe how they moved. They were careful, as when crossing an icy stream, conscientious, as if always being seen. They were respectful as trekkers, hiking through private land. They were elegant and yielding, like a melting icicle in the morning sun. They were natural, like unfinished wood. They were wide open, like a valley which lets muddy floodwaters tussle its landscape, then lets the silt settle in clarified streams. Then it stirs up pools once again, reawakening life. Tao surfers don't overindulge. Since they don't overindulge, they mature peacefully, feeling younger than they've ever been. 16. Empty yourself. Embrace peace upon peace. The galaxies blast out from the center of the cosmos. Await their fall back to the center. Living things sprout forth and then return to the soil. Returning to the soil brings rest and peace. Peace is returning to our true self. Returning to our true self is to have constancy. Having constancy brings utter clarity. Wavering brings delusion and catastrophe. Having constancy means facing reality. Facing reality is being unbiased. Being unbiased grants power over oneself. Having power over oneself is heavenly. To be heavenly is to surf the Tao. Mindful of the everlasting Tao, we can face mortality without fear. 21. Resplendent De flows forth from the Tao, yet the Tao in itself is elusive and enigmatic. How enigmatic, how elusive. Now, if you treat the Tao like an object, you'll never understand it. How elusive, how enigmatic. This is because you can't see it directly, but only through its existence in, with, and under all things. How deep, how unfathomable. Though it has no form, it's the source of all life. Existing before all things, its pattern is within all things. This is perennial wisdom. How do I know all this to be true? Like this. 23. Follow nature's example and say only what you need to say, then rest in silence. Storms blow across hills in the morning, then give way to stillness. Rain bursts from thunderclouds in the afternoon, then the evening sky enjoys silence. Why is this? It is the way of heaven and earth. So, if even the storms of heaven and earth don't rage on ceaselessly, why should we humans? Those who surf the Tao flow with the Tao. Those who channel De embody De. Those who focus on loss wallow in loss. Those who surf the Tao discover that the Tao gladly receives them. Those who channel De find that De is on their side. Those who fixate on loss learn that misery loves company. Those who are overly suspicious are suspect. 25. Something formless and void existed before heaven and earth were born. It is quiet and ephemeral, an unchanging unity. Its perpetual energy courses through everything. It's like a battery that never runs low. It's the mother of everything that exists. I do not know its name. The best I can do is call it Tao. You might call it magnificence. This magnificence leads to the beyond. The beyond points to the transcendent. The transcendent returns back to the humble center of existence. So the Tao is sublime. Heaven, earth, and humanity are also sublime. See how there are 4 sublime realities in the universe, and humanity is included? This is because, at their best, folks know how to create art out of earthly things. Meanwhile, life springs up from earth as it receives the blessings from heaven. Heaven's wellspring is the Tao. Behold, the Tao is its own fount. (28) Understand the masculine yang principle, but treasure the feminine yin principle. Let a river of life flow out of you. Be this river of life, and De will spring up all around you. Then you can breathe deep in faith, like a little baby. Understand the white, but treasure the black. Be an example for the world. Serving as an example for others, you'll still have sufficient De to rest in the infinite. Understand glory, but treasure humility. Make yourself lowly, like the deepest valley. Do this, and you can harness enough of De's flow of energy to move mountains. Special instruments are carved from a single piece of natural wood. A sage understands how to orchestrate something beautiful with these various instruments. Yet they treasure the organic whole from which everything arises. 32. The Tao is ever nameless. Though it's 1,000,000, billion times smaller than a single atom, nothing in heaven and earth can contain its natural energy. If the powers that be could harness it, they wouldn't try to conquer the universe. They would joyfully become one with it. Heaven and earth would join together to lavish blessings on every sentient being. Likewise, all people would naturally receive what they need. They'd be content with it and rejoice in the surplus. We order the world by assigning names to natural things. We find joy in mastering the names of the things we experience. But let that be the extent of our attempted mastery. Knowing how to stop trying to control everything is the key to averting disaster. The Tao works throughout the world like this. Water melts into valley streams, then spills into rivers, then sinks into the depths of the oceans. 36. If you want to exhale, first take a deep breath. If you want to relax, first tense your muscles. If you want to clear your mind, first notice your frantic thoughts. If you want to receive, first give. This is how to perceive the light that's hidden amid the shadows. Flexibility overcomes rigidity, and gentleness conquers force. So don't try to pull Leviathan from the sea with a fishhook. In leadership, remember to play your cards close to your vest. 39. Since ancient times, the following have realized union. The heavens realized union, and skies cleared. The earth realized union, and found calm. Spirits realized union, and became conscious. Valleys realized union, and rivers flowed through them. The living things realized union and came alive. Leaders realized union and modeled justice for everyone. All of this happened through realizing union. Without clarity, the heavens would experience total entropy. Without calm, the earth would burst forth with a million volcanoes. Without consciousness, spirits would cease to exist. Without flowing water, the valleys would dry up. Without life, the living things would go extinct. Without justice, leaders end up getting overthrown. So, nobility relies on what is common. High towers rest on low foundations. Leaders often portray themselves as working class, average folks. Isn't this an example of appealing to commoners in order to form a base of support? Therefore, the highest compliment for a leader is to be accepted as one of the folks. So don't try to be flashy like fine jewelry, but instead seek the gravitas of an unpolished stone. 40. The Tao's flow plays with reversals. Its methods are flexible. The living things in this world are born from something. That something was born from nothing. 44. Which is more precious, your name or your true self? Which do you value more, your true self or what you own? Which is the real calamity, winning or losing? Lust for possessions is costly. Hoard everything, and you will lose it all. Learning to be content avoids dishonor. Knowing when to stop averts disaster. This is the key to longevity in life's endeavors. 47. You can know the world without walking out your door. You can glimpse the celestial Tao without looking out your window. The further you run from yourself, the less you will know. So a sage gains insight without needing to travel abroad, knows what's going on before the official story gets published, and wins without playing games. 48. Seek academic knowledge, and you can acquire facts day by day. Seek the wisdom of the Tao, and you'll clear junk from your life day by day. Let go of more and more, so you can learn to surf the Tao. Surfing the Tao allows you to accomplish anything without forcing everything. If you want to flourish in the world, don't try to control it. Indeed, if you try to control the world, you aren't ready to flourish in it. 51. The Tao births them. Then De nurtures them. Matter affects them. Life events complete them. There's not a single living thing that does not exalt the Tao and proclaim De's glory. They exalt the Tao and proclaim De's glory not through coercion, but spontaneously, because of who they are. So the Tao gives birth to them, then De nurtures them, tends to and teaches them, completes and cultivates them, nurses and buries them. It births but does not own them, gives without imposing obligations, and leads without coercing. They call this the mystical De. 52. The world has a source. Let's call it the mother of everything. Once we recognize the mother, we come to understand her children. Understand this, and you can keep close to the mother's ways, and you will no longer live in fear of death. Practice silence. Maintain healthy boundaries, and you'll live a peaceful life. Talk too much, remain frantic, and you'll never find peace. Perceiving the little things brings lucidity. Maintaining a soft touch is a sign of strength. Practice this so you can see your way home to your true self before you lose yourself. This is the way of constancy. 71. To know apart from dogmatism is the height of mental health. Clinging to dogmas when you don't know is the depth of unhealthy thinking. Only when you recognize that your unhealthy thinking is unhealthy can your mind finally enjoy health. A sage acknowledges unhealthy thinking as unhealthy, so they keep their wits about them.